All right. So, ladies, welcome. My name's Michelle Withers and Michelle Bradley. She helped me get this organized, and then we've added some other people. There's another gal named
Amy.
Amy. Thank you. I'm like, wait, is her with an A? So it's fun. I've been meeting Origami Owl gals all last couple of weeks. And I love it. I'm so excited, and I'll tell you a couple of reasons why. So I live in what's southern Washington. Did you know there's a desert in Washington? Like everybody thinks of Seattle. This is where the apples are grown. So when you eat a Washington apple, this is where it comes from. Okay, we're an agricultural area. And if you ever want to go wine tasting, we have great wine here. So they tell me that I don't drink, so I couldn't tell you for sure. That's what they tell me. Okay. So we have 4 children. 16 down to 7, and they're part-time homeschooled, and I love what I get to do, so it's a lot of fun. So I'm really excited to have you tonight. I'll tell you just a little bit about myself, then I want to hear about you guys and why you started with Origami Owl, why you're here, and what your goals are for your business. Okay, so just a little tiny bit about myself. I've been with 3 different direct sales companies. And I did scrapbooking, I've done jewelry, and I've done clothes. So I've done I was telling Michelle, I'm like, the jewelry and the scrapbooking is like this crossbreed what you guys do. And so it's really fun. This kind of topic, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I learned a lot about sales from a gal named Tracy Build. And she taught what's called needs-based selling, meaning we just slow down and listen to people. All it really is how to win friends and influence people in a direct sales explained method, and then throw in some how you do that on Facebook. That's kind of what I've done basically, is learned how to tweak those tips with regards to using it with messaging and Facebook and some things like that. So we're going to have some fun teaching you a little bit about how to find the friends on Facebook that you already have who need your product. Okay, we'll have some fun questions for you to ask. And then when they do comment, how to move into a conversation, some good wording choices that help you feel really authentic. And when I started doing this, the first business I was with scrapbooking. And when I really slowed down and started listening to people more often, now I want you to think about this in regards to your company, because this is how I kind of tweak. Well, I'll tell you that in just a second. So I love training, and I love being self-employed because I've always been able to do some sort of homeschooling. We there's kind of a school they go to 1 day a week, and one has a Chinese tutor, and the other one goes to 1-hour school for Spanish. We kind of have this mixed bag homeschooling. We kind of pick and choose kind of thing what we do. But I'm glad I've been able to be around to do those things. It'd been a lot harder if I was working 9 to 5. So I want to hear from you really quick, how long you've been with Origami Owl, why you love it, and what some of your goals are. What do you want to do with it? But I also want to hear, why do you love this product? Why, out of all, there's hundreds of direct sales companies. You could be cooking, you could be doing makeup, you could be selling books, there's a lot of other great companies out there. Why are you here? What do you love about the product? Okay. So I know that Michelle is quick on her feet and knows why she's here. So I'm going to let her go first, because I know sometimes this might stump some people. They're like, oh, wait, what? So I'm not too worried about Michelle though. So go for it, girl. Tell us.
So are you saying that I talk too much?
No, it's all in the name. I just know you have good speaking skills. and you have your why. Not that you talk too much.
Actually my why has changed over the past 4.5 years. I started at first to put my son through private college. And I've done that successfully. We still have some college loans, but for the most part, I was able to pay for that. So that's my original why. And now I just do this 100% so other people can find success in direct sales. Awesome. I feel as a whole, the industry has kind of a negative connotation, and most people fail at it for unnecessary reasons.
Yeah.
And most of it is just lack of communication, lack of systems, and lack of feeling part of something. That's why people stop what they're doing. And
Yeah.
so I feel that now if I can just affect one person at a time, then they can find what they're looking for. Just like you, who can stay home, homeschool, and be there for your kids. I feel everyone has that opportunity to find what they're looking for out of direct sales, whether it's to stay home with their kids, make extra money, be at the top of the career plan, no matter what it is. I feel that everyone can find what they're looking for with direct sales, and I'm trying to make it a positive, something positive for everyone instead of having this negative connotation to it.
Cool. Awesome. Love it. And what do you love about, I mean, okay, you could be with a lot of direct sales companies with the background, the understanding, the wisdom you have. Why Origami Owl?
For me, it's just an emotional product. I've been through a lot of stuff. My son's father died when he was a year old, and so I married when he was 4.5. So I was able to wear something in my locket to remember my son's father, but still respect my husband.
Cool. I love it.
So that was huge for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was me being able to have something for myself. And I know that it has become our lockets are healing for people, whether they're in a tough situation or they're overcoming a loss or an illness. And that's what it was for me. So for me, it's all about the emotional impact. It wasn't because I wear jewelry, obviously. It was because of the emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing better when you leave a party knowing that somehow someone is able to walk away and start a healing process. That's private to them.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Love it. Awesome. Okay. So Cindy, I'm going to hop up here because we've been chatting a little bit, and then we'll go over to Crystal and Andrea. What we're doing is you're sharing a little bit about why you're with Origami Owl, how long you've been with the company, and what kind of goals you have. So Cindy, go ahead. I'm going to unmute you because it makes it easier for us to hear you.
There we go.
Go ahead.
I have been with Origami Owl for about a year and a half, and I joined the company because I thought it was a wonderful product, and I also love what the company stands for.
Mm-hmm.
I love the force for good, giving back to other people. My why is it's always changing. I want to give back to other people. I want to do fundraisers so that way it's not about the money. I don't really need the money.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to have a little extra money to give back to other people or to help other people out.
Cool.
Like Michelle said, the emotional part of it is a lot of the reason why I like doing it, because everybody does have a story to tell.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I never in a million years imagined that I would be doing this ever. And I had I had heard about the product, but I had never really actually got my hands on it. So I went to a open house, got my hands on it, decided that I could knock a lot of Christmas presents off my list, and I decided to just have a jewelry bar. And in between the time of having the jewelry bar scheduled and actually having it, I decided to become a designer just because I love the product and the company that much.
Right.
So yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Very cool. All right. So Crystal, we're going to go next. Andrea, Bridget, and then we have someone on the phone. Go ahead, Crystal.
You guys hear me?
Yep, I sure can.
Okay. You can't see me because my husband apparently is like the national security, and I don't even know how to get my webcam on. Apparently, he's got it blocked out. But anyways.
Okay.
Why I found Origami Owl, or why I liked it, I guess. I've always been the person to always host the party, but never been the salesperson.
Uh-huh.
And I had gotten a locket for Mother's Day from my mother-in-law, and not to say bad words, but I'm not exactly close with her, so I was kind of taken back by the gift that she had made and the time that she had taken to pick something out that was obviously a little bit more personable.
Aww.
And I was obviously emotional from it, but I I love it. I still have it as my keepsake. It's in my jewelry box. I switch it out, obviously, from now selling it.
Uh-huh.
For other people, because I love the product, and I'd had a party, and the girl who came, sadly, was not a very good designer. She wasn't very helpful. She kind of just sat up and sat on her phone in the corner. And
Oh, wow.
I had already looked into the company because I had gotten my gift. I wanted to know more about it, what other pieces they had. So when I was giving gifts to other people, I already had a good idea about a lot of the background. So I was helping all my friends, and they were asking questions, and the girl didn't know, and I thought maybe she was new, and she wasn't. So after she had left, my friends were like, you should totally do this. You were really good at it. Like, you already helped all of us, and you already knew, like, all this stuff. And I was like, no, I'm not a salesperson. Like, I can't do it. And I had all those sad myths that everybody else thinks of direct sales also.
Uh-huh.
So I gave it a go, and I'm here, happy to say 2 years later, loving it. I kind of felt like it found me. I wasn't really searching for anything. I didn't necessarily need it, but I've gained so much from it, more than just obviously extra paycheck from doing it. So it's
Cool.
benefited me personally and my family in so many ways. So I'm happy to join the company and have the experience.
Awesome. Love it. Okay, Andrea, you're next.
I joined in September of 2015, so I've been at 2 years. I joined because I liked the product. It was new. It was something I hadn't seen before, so I was excited to be a part of a company that I didn't know anything about.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoy going to jewelry bars and to vendor shows and meeting the new people and just kind of getting out. I'm a stay-at-home mom during the day, so this is my time.
Awesome. Very cool. All right, and Bridget, go ahead. Can you hear me? All right, Stacy, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah?
I hear you.
Yes. Would you like to tell us why you decided to, or what you love most about Origami Owl?
I would, but I'm actually laying in bed putting my son to sleep.
No problem. It's quite all right. All right, I'm going to get started, okay? So we're going to talk more about some sales tips, but actually they're more like how to connect more deeply tips, okay? So thank you so much for sharing your stories. So I'm going to tell you a little story. I told you my first company was scrapbooking, and when I signed up with the scrapbooking company, I had just had my daughter. We have the Narnia children. We have boy, girl, boy, girl. We seriously, like, I really need to make costumes. I guess I just need to order them because I can't seem to bring myself to sew those complicated costumes. But we do. We have the Narnia children. And the second one, my daughter was just, tiny. But before that, before we'd had her and before we'd had my son, we actually had there was a child born before him. And when I got pregnant with him, there was this really funny thing. I had this little obsession with baby feet, and I had the most bizarre concern there was something wrong with his feet. And my friend knew I was obsessed with baby feet, and she brought me, I don't know if you're able to see this. Can you see that tiny little foot?
Yep.
It's an earring. Okay. She brought me these little earrings because she knew I was obsessed with baby feet. And when he was born, we found out that he didn't have kidneys and he also had club feet. And he went home to his Heavenly Father about an hour after he was born, because those kidneys and some other things that it affects are really important. And he did really well on the inside as long as he's attached to mom, but being out on his own just wasn't going to work very well. So I had this little boy. So this was 11 months into being married. We buried a child. And another friend of mine knew I was obsessed with baby feet and what happened with Jeremy, and she brought me, this is actually a toe ring, and it has tiny little baby feet on it. Can you see them?
Mm-hmm.
Is it even focusing, or is it really blurry? And I was sitting here looking at your product, and I mean, I'm familiar with your product, and it wasn't like it was brand new. But I can tell you what an amazing gift, and Michelle was talking about the healing process when somebody just has that special thing. And I wore those earrings for a very long time, and that toe ring a very long time. And I know what it means to people to get to honor someone in their life, whether they're still living and it's someone they love and adore, or it's someone who doesn't get to be with them in person physically. You can give him a hug. I personally believe he's still alive. I just don't get to hug him and squeeze him and teach him how to drive and send him to prom and the things he'd be doing as an 18-year-old. But just the impact that I had when people shared these special things with me. And it was this kind of stuff I shared with people when we were scrapbooking, because all I had was I didn't have him in my house anymore. So I would tell people a little bit about why it was so important to me that I had scrapbooked his story. And then this is the key. So what I want to teach you is how I learned to get to the heart of people's emotions. And I actually was able to double my sales, all because I took the time to listen to people a little more at their parties. And so at the very beginning of my party, and the thing is, you can do this on a virtual party. You can be doing this daily in a question on Facebook, okay? So this was before Facebook when I was doing this, which ages me, I know, because do any of you feel like Facebook's always been around, even though you know it hasn't? Like, you kind of don't know life without Facebook anymore. But I would come into my parties and we would talk a little bit about scrapbooking. I'd share my story and I'd say, okay, I want to know from you. If you had 3 memories that you could preserve, for some reason, 30 days from now, your memory is just going to go blank. I would say that instead of die, because it's kind of morbid. Okay? If your memory was going to go blank in 30 days, what are the 3 memories you'd most want to preserve? And we would get talking. Now, the introductions lasted longer. Okay, I'll tell you, the beginning of the party, you were like, oh my goodness, because some people got their stories going, and as women, sometimes we can, get talking. But when we started talking about product, instead of me just showing, look how cool this album is, and look how cool this paper is, and look how cute and clever this is, and look how cool it looks when you stamp it, and the crafty side, but because we talked about their memories, I was able to tailor, I still went through the product the same way, but I'd say, Michelle, you talked about your husband, and that he loved to fish and you miss him, and that you still have people you love, but he's not here, and you would love this fishing paper. I don't know if he's into fishing, but you know what I'm saying. I'm making stuff up. And so when we would go through these stories and we would match the products, I doubled my sales, and people were telling me, wow, you're so not pushy. And not that anyone looked at me and said I was pushy before that, but they're like, we just love what we're getting. And the thing was, they used it. When they consumed it, when they used it, then they bought more. And so same kind of thing, when you have a product you wear and then something comes up, they're going to use it again. So there's a lot of really fun ways to do this. So what I want to share with you are some ideas on different types of questions as I was going through the product line, because you don't have stuff just for people that are passed away. You have things to celebrate, events to celebrate. I love my son. My eldest, Porter, is a triathlete. And I didn't see triathlete stuff, but there is a bike and a shoe and something to do with water. But even the marathon, I love the little marathon, the little number, 26.2, 26.3. I don't run marathons, you can tell. I don't know the distance. But those kind of things, just how emotional those are. And then one other way, I don't know if you guys have ever done this as an activity, I just think it would be way fun. Okay, so this is my daughter's Origami Owl necklace, and I'm too dingy to get it open. But her stuff in here were all her goals. And one of the classes I teach a lot about is goal setting. So she kept these close to her heart, and it's really cool to look at it and realize what she's done since she's got it. She wanted to go to Mexico, but she ended up going to Guatemala, and she did. She went to Guatemala for a month. The rolling pins in here, she wanted to learn how to cook. She's been taking an online cooking class. She was the slowest runner on her team, and there's a little running shoe in here. She's now the fastest runner. Okay, so there's all these little things in here. She hasn't gone to France yet, but she found a thing online. She'd go to France as an exchange student. Joys of when you teach your children how to set goals, you have to be brave and let them go strange places. But, so there's that more proactive side, that goal setting. What are they working on? There's so many different ways to do this, okay? So one of the techniques I teach people is how to post questions on Facebook about things that connect to your product, okay? So there's a couple things you're looking for. You are looking for people who just like jewelry, right? Mm-hmm. So did any of you try the question, how many days a week do you wear jewelry? Did anyone try that one, or was that one in the group? Did anyone try that one? Okay, so that one's a really fun one to do. In fact, if you take just a second, like go to your Facebook account, post that, but then close it down and come back, because it'll start dinging and you'll want to know who answered and you won't want to listen to me, okay? But I'll tell you how to reply, okay? So go to your Facebook account, put in there, how many days a week do you wear jewelry? Okay, just for fun. Or if you want to do a Mother's Day question, and Amy, unless Amy's on the phone. Amy, are you the one on the phone? So Amy posted a question, and it was, how far away does your mother live? Because she was focusing on Mother's Day gifts. And on that one, she got over 50 responses, and she has several orders in the works. And I know, Michelle, you can tell the story if you want, but my understanding was Michelle was even surprised when she posted the question, like, they're all already either my customers or they're other Origami Owl designers. And she was pleasantly surprised to find people commenting that she probably either kind of forgot were even her Facebook friends, haven't commented on anything else ever before. And you'll find that when you ask a variety of questions, you'll have somebody pop up and answer that you're like, didn't even know you ever showed up on Facebook. You know, the stalkers that they come on and they never say anything. And so you don't know they're there. What was the question you posed, Michelle?
I posted, what don't you leave home without? Earrings, necklace, bracelet, and I did an ABC type deal.
Mm-hmm.
People, because I still live in the town that I grew up in.
Wow.
Yeah. So my parents went to my high school. My brother did, I did, and my son did. We all graduated from the same school. So I had people that I went to elementary school comment on that post.
Wow. That's amazing. So yeah, it's really fun. Okay, so there's two reasons we're doing this, okay? When, for example, do you know how many responses you got, Michelle?
I can look real fast.
Okay, so I know Amy got about 50. When Facebook sees, they go, oh, look, Amy, they like what Amy had to say. Okay, comments speak louder than likes. Okay, shares is the ultimate. That doesn't happen very often. So comments is what we're trying to get, because Facebook goes, oh, wow, they really like what Andrea has to say. And
I got 50.
You got 50? Cool, okay. So then the rest of your stuff gets shown more. So you're going to mix this up. You're going to do questions that are just fun. One that's really fun to try is on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like to cook? Because food is the most discussed topic on Facebook, and you'll get, I mean, we saw some Pampered Chef people get like 80 responses on that. Just crazy, 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 okay? So you just want to increase your engagement, because more people will see stuff when you're posting about Origami Owl, okay? So part of it is kind of tricking the system. That's also fun to see who's watching you that you didn't know was. It would comment on food but wouldn't comment on jewelry, okay? So then the next thing we're trying to do is find who on your Facebook feed wears jewelry, gives gifts, something that's connected to your company, okay? And they might, this is the key, you have to listen very carefully, they might be a client. I do not have magic beans that make every person you talk to buy from you, okay? That is not what I'm teaching. I'm teaching you how to find people instead of, now I'm not saying Origami Owl teaches this, but I know some direct sellers do. go message 10 people and see if any of them are interested in having the beauty bar or whatever, just like this cold messaging. I'm like, oh my gosh, you have to do that. Don't do that. It's horrible. It feels awful. Nobody replies. It just yucky. Anyway, y'all have had it. Usually weight loss stuff they like send you messages about, but not always, but sometimes. Okay, so there's 3 types of questions that are really, really easy and effective. And the key is you got to remember, my phone's not here, but most people are checking Facebook on their phones, right? Okay. And because of that, the easier it is to respond, the more likely they are to respond. So when they can hit one button and then post, it makes it easy. So these are my 3 suggestions to get started that make it super, super easy. The first one is days of the week. And so you heard, how many days do you wear makeup? Or sorry, jewelry. I do a lot of makeup trainings. How many days a week do you wear jewelry? Okay. So that is a super, super easy one. You can ask, how many days a week do you, there's all sorts of things. I gotta think about that one for a minute. But think about someone special or something that's more sentimental. We can ask those kind of questions, okay? The other thing you want to do is on a scale of 1 to 10. This one makes it crazy easy, okay, for people to respond. On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it to you to have earrings on before you run out the door? On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like, how much do you like to have a gift that's sentimental and personal, okay? Or you can change things to what we call multiple choice. And you've got to make sure you either put A, B, C, D, or 1, 2, 3, 4, so they don't have to type out the whole word. You want to put something next to it, okay? And you can say, so on which of these, Michelle said, which of these are you most likely to leave the house with? Or I've done, do you prefer to have the gift practical, something they'd never buy themselves, or sentimental, okay? You could ask, go ahead.
I did that one too.
Did you?
Yeah. I would have to look at the results, but I got a ton of engagement on that as well. And almost every single one said sentimental. So for our product line, they are our customers.
Yeah.
100%.
Very much. Very, very, very much. Okay. So you could you could ask something like, how many Mother's Day gifts will you be buying? Okay. For someone they're buying from their mom, their grandma, their mother-in-law, someone who is a mother figure, someone will say 0. Okay. That's okay. All right. Like someone doesn't have a great relationship with their mom, and you're going to get some of that. Okay. So there's all these different things you can ask. You could ask, what has been your greatest accomplishment in the last year? Okay. Like who doesn't want to kind of, if I run a marathon, like I think I tattooed on my forehead and I don't like tattoos. Okay. Like, do you know what I mean? Like there's so many cool things that you could do. Who I'm trying to think of the most tactful way to ask who you want to probably avoid the word die, but who's someone that's really special to you that's gone to the other side that you think about frequently. Okay. And you could do a multiple choice on that, a grandmother, a parent, a spouse, a child, an aunt or uncle. You could do a multiple choice. Okay. There's so many.
Even something like the other day I looked out my front window and I saw a blue jay and a cardinal.
Uh-huh.
And a cardinal always reminded me of my grandfather. Always. He's been gone 16 years. But my grandma just passed away last year. And he was one of the only ones in our family had blue eyes. So I thought it was so ironic that there was a blue jay in my front yard with the cardinal.
Wow.
So I had posted a picture of the blue jay and the cardinal, and I said, it's comforting to see my grandparents in the front yard.
Wow.
So you can ask a question like, is there something? Is there an animal? Is there something that reminds you every time you see it of a loved one? A lot of times it's a butterfly, a dragonfly. For my grandmother, her name was Bernice. So everything that I do for my team is the queen bee in memory of her. So there's things that we can tie into that, and it leads into conversation about having something in your locket. Like when my grandma passed away at her funeral, I had a bee in my locket for her.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So even something like that, is there something that reminds you of a loved one who's passed?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it's very simple to bring that up because we all have those things that bring a memory, a song, something like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think it would be interesting to ask even something along the lines of, this isn't this one, you're going to get less engagement, but the conversations are going to be a little more in depth. I'd love to know who has an accessory that's an antique from their mother or their grandmother. That means they would collect that kind of thing. Now, okay, you're going to laugh when I tell you this, but like when my mother's mother passed away, my aunt was at the house and she was going through her jewelry, and my mom's the oldest daughter, and she called her and she goes, so my aunt called my mom and said, would you like her ring? Because she was the oldest daughter. She's being respectful. My mother's not sentimental at all. No, I don't care. You can have it. My aunt is very sentimental, was very happy to have it, okay? And she would wear a very big locket with all her grandchildren in it. Like, you should sell to my aunt, not to my mother. She didn't get it. Okay, so some people really aren't, unfortunately, but whatever, okay? That's just the way it is. Teach their own. But someone who has antique pieces, that might be a good person. The other thing, you're going to laugh, okay? So when I train Peppered Chef people, like I will train them, like even the smallest question, like on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do onions make you cry when you cut them? You can do the same thing with like your purple theme. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you enjoy wearing purple? Okay, so you can even go down that minute and get conversations going. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So you're going to have your very sentimental person. You're going to have your very much, oh my gosh, it's just so cute. Like, seriously, I got to have all the aqua. I love aqua. I like green aqua. That brings out my eyes, okay? But do you see what I'm saying? Okay, so there's lots of different reasons. The other thing is, I'm just curious. I didn't have enough time to like keep digging on YouTube to find, but how often do people do like videos and tell the story of somebody bought this one this week because this is their story and these are the lockets they got? Is this like a video thing anyone's done yet in your company?
I think there are some people, and there are some people that will post the photo of the locket. Some people have done video, but I think video is a relatively new idea, especially with Facebook Live and all that. People shied away from YouTube, but now with more video on Facebook, more video with the unlimited time or the extended time on Instagram, video becoming more social media accepted, that more people are leaning that way. But I think before it was mainly pictures. I used to always, when people wrote me a story about their locket, I would ask permission to share it and tag them.
Right.
And that's huge because when you tag that person, all their phones.
Yeah.
So it's huge when it comes to engagement because those people are going to like it. They're going to comment. They're going to say it's beautiful. Where do I get one? And so I think that we kind of miss the boat because we're constantly looking for the sale and we don't take the time to enjoy the sale we just had.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, I've got like, my head is spinning with ideas for you guys for videos. Because if you're telling people stories, okay, and you want to keep it short, it absolutely cannot be longer than 2.5 minutes. Right. Like you got to get emotional in and out pretty fast. There can't be a lot of background, okay? People's attention spans are insanely short, but you got to upload it right to Facebook, not to YouTube. Anyway, there's several things. But I mean, my head is spinning with how cool you could do this on top of then you ask questions in the video. Who do you think of when you hear this story? Okay. And so get them to comment. There's a lot of really cool things you could do. Like, I'm like, woo, like this is going to be so much fun. Okay. So the video thing is like really, really cool. And this is definitely something you want to start adding in your Facebook parties because you can do live. If you're doing virtual parties, because you can do live video now in those. So you could be asking people about their stories and that kind of thing. There's a lot of cool things we could be doing. Like, it's so exciting. Okay, but back to the questions, okay? So you've asked this question. Now, I'm going to tell you the order of how you're going to respond Those a little more technical, a little less emotional, but it is somewhat emotional too. It's really, really, really important, ladies, that you take a second to just simply, this is all you do. You just say, oh my gosh, I love that you love purple, or you look so pretty in purple. You want to either compliment, empathize, or congratulate, okay? You keep it all about them. You don't comment that you love purple too. You just like, oh, you're gorgeous in purple. That's so great. Okay, we keep it all about them, all about them, all about them. And it really, really makes a big difference. So all you do is after they comment, you hit reply. You say something about them and relate to them. Then you move it to a private message, okay? Now, this is the interesting thing, okay? I can guarantee you the person that I love the most when I had my little heartbreak, when my little boy went home way sooner than, in my opinion, he should have. So he's a guardian angel. It's okay. We're not bitter at our house about it or anything. But still, it sucked. The interesting was the people that would come to my house and just sit on my couch and let me vent, those were my best friends. There was not an ounce of advice that could make me feel any better. None. Not kidding, okay? So if you can be that listening ear by just tell me about your mom, tell me about your husband, tell me about your dad. They will type and type and type, and you say, what kind of things did they like to do? What color makes you think of them? What was their favorite quote? Okay? We can come up with all sorts of questions for you to prompt them to talk about them, and think how quickly you can mentally pull out the charms and put a little picture together for them and go, does this represent them? Or how close does this represent them? Okay? When you learn to ask these questions, and I swear to you, all it is How to Win Friends and Influence People. I've listened to the book, I think, 20 times. I listen, I don't read. But do you see what I'm saying? Okay? There are all these questions. Now, one of the things I teach is how to take a company and divide it into a company's product and divide it into 4 to 5 categories. Okay? With makeup, it's super easy. It's eyes, lips, skin, removal. Okay? With yours, you're going to have kind of the categories about where they like to wear jewelry. So if they're earrings, if they're bracelets, if they're necklaces, that's going to be a category. Another category is going to be more the sentimental side. Another category is going to be more the fashion side. Like I told you, I just love aqua. Okay. And then the other one could be like goals, pursuits, things they're really proud of. So you're going to have kind of your sad emotional side, and then you're going to have your celebratory side. So it's not always kind of doom and gloom. Does that make sense? Okay. So if you could divide those into those 4 areas, and when you're messaging someone, they talked about that their mother lives far away. Tell me about your mom. Tell me what you like to do with her. Tell me what it is that you see that reminds you most of her. Okay. When you can ask those questions about all these different little areas, tell me what's your favorite color to wear. Can I ask you just a little bit about your fashion sense or your fashion style? Okay. What color do you like to wear most? What things do what are your signature? What kind of things do you like to do? What are your hobbies? So then you can give them some ideas. Somebody's going to buy for themselves, and somebody else is going to buy that connects to that emotional and that sentimental thing. Okay. So there's a lot of different ways to pull information out of people. I can't remember who was it Crystal? Was it you or Andrea? I think it was Crystal was talking about the other person was just sitting back in the corner thumbing on her phone, and letting them pick out charms. Hello, we need to prompt people, okay? We need to take the time to talk and let them talk to us. They should do more talking than we do, okay, for sure. But you got to prompt them, okay? That's part of why you're here, because they can go home and go, oh man, I had this relationship with so-and-so and I didn't think about that. I wish I'd got a necklace, or, whatever it is. If you prompt them, you can help them with that. You can even have like a drawing slip that would have little prompts on there. Who of these people do you miss the most and has passed away? What are your favorite colors to wear? I have a really cool, and I know, okay, we could do like a whole nother class on this. I just have so many ideas for you. I'm sounding a little distracted, a little all over.
That the drawing slip with the prompts is genius. I just want to tell you. So I have one of my team members sitting here with me, and we looked at each other like ding, 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 right? Like it's huge because there is a chance when you're not aggressive or outspoken like me, there's a chance that you have those procrastinators. You have those people that cannot make a decision to save their life. So your 2-hour jewelry bar just went to 4 hours, 5 hours. No one wants you in their house for 4 hours. You're not getting bookings at that jewelry bar because they want you out.
Right.
So to have a drawing slip with prompts, it's huge. And it's even to send it ahead of time with the invites, confirmation to reach out to them and say, hey, I'm so glad you're going to make it to the jewelry bar. I can't wait to meet you. Here's a little prompt slip to get you thinking about what you want to build once you get here.
Cool. I would just, I'd make it a little less sounding like it's something I'm trying to get them to buy. And
Right.
I love to have things that match your personalities just for you to see. So I want to know like your top 3 favorite colors, your, top 3 hobbies, how many children you have, you could do that kind of thing.
Right.
But the other thing, because I know so many of you do booths and expos. Okay, now I'm going to sound really full of myself when I say this, but because you're so like, aha, over the drawing slip, I have this booth and expo training that will knock your socks off because it's this on steroids, okay? You ask a question, you have a question posted. It can even just be, hey, we want to know, we're taking a poll. Do you like to wear earrings, necklaces, or bracelets more? So it's a way to pull them in because people like to give their opinion. So I have a lot of amazing tips on the booths and expos that everybody who uses it, it doesn't matter if it's Jamberry, makeup, whatever it is, they come home. A pampered chef will book out about 4 to 6 months when they have a high showing with my drawing slips because they know exactly what to ask. And then I have questions for bookings and signing up that are way different. It's on a scale of 1 to 10 instead of yes, no. Anyway, there's a lot of cool stuff we have just on bookings and expos. So anyway, so let me know if you want to know more about that. But it works. It's really, really fun because it's all about questions. It's all about asking them so that you don't just start showing them stuff without getting to know them a little better. I mean, if not anything else, for heaven's sakes, at least ask their gold or silver people. Like you've got to ask something. Don't just start talking about what you like because it's not going to connect to most people. What you like is different than everybody else, okay? So these questions, okay, so there's a couple more tips you're going to want, okay? So you divide it into 4 areas. You ask about those 4 areas, their fashion sense, what their hobbies are, their goals are, sentimental questions, okay? And you keep asking. You don't start making suggestions until you get through 4 areas. Then you get down and you've asked them all these things. You're like, oh my gosh, they're going to love this charm. They're going to love this bracelet. They're going to want to put these in. They're going to want this color. And you have all these ideas. So these are the magic words. Are you ready? Because these make a huge difference. And it's great because you can see you do it effectively when you type it out when you're thumbing it, okay? Because you mentioned, or because this person's important to you, or because this is a goal you have. You might like blank, and you want to put the word might in there, okay, because it makes them feel a little less like you're trying to convince them. You might love this one. This might help you remember this person. You might love this because you wear this color so often, okay? So because you said, you don't make any suggestions unless you see that it's something they would want. Like y'all know you would make suggestions to send me about aqua stuff, right? You'd make suggestions if there was something that had 4 children. You'd make suggestions. Okay, do you see where I'm going with this? Okay, so all those kind of things. You would ask me what other goals I have, so I could make my own little gold necklace, which I can't believe I haven't done yet. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, so you say that, and then you say, ready? This is another magic sentence. which of these are you most excited about? Or which of these is the best fit for you? Okay? Or which of these just is, sometimes excited isn't the right word if you've been talking a lot about emotional stuff and people that are gone. Which one tells your story the best? Okay, that could be a really cool question. All right. And then you let them talk and you have to wait. In between all these, you have to wait. Okay. And then you let them wait and you go, okay, could I give you a couple options? So like, okay, forgive me for not knowing this. Is there like a package deal, like you get a locket and so many charms for like no, everything's priced out individually?
Everything's a la carte.
Everything's a la carte. Okay. So you could say, maybe you want to give them 2 different ways to wear it, or 2 different sizes, or a bracelet or a necklace suggestion. You always make optional closes a yes, yes, not say you want to get it. No, no, no. Would you like it in a bracelet or a necklace? Would you like to put something behind the charms, or would you like it with just the charms? You always have an optional close, okay? And if they say it's too much money, that's the perfect time to go, may I, this is my booking question, okay? I gotta think how I say that. Tell me a little bit about your thoughts of having is it a jewelry bar where we could get some of that for you for free or half price or whatever your deals are. Okay, so you don't ask, would you like to have one? You say, what are your thoughts? Because when you say that, then they tell you why they'd want to and why they're worried about it. You know, they all have their concerns. Sometimes their concerns aren't correct. No, you don't have to do that. You don't have to clean your house, or you don't have to invite all 600 of your friends, or you don't have to, I don't know, whatever. Oh no, we don't have to do it live. We can do it online, whatever it is. Okay. So when you say, what are your thoughts? Then they'll tell you their concerns. So sometimes you can turn some around to would be a no. Okay. So do you see all those wording choices? Like,
yeah, it's 100% makes a difference. Like you could easily say, tell me your thoughts about earning this for free.
Yep.
And because most people are no one wants to clean their house. No one wants to go to the grocery store and spend $100 on things that someone may not show up. These are all things that you can take the stress off them, because we know that people just want to see the jewelry and visit with their friends.
Yep. And so when you have these questions, whether it's more informal, it's more of an open house, but you can have these questions. You can say, hey, could you fill this out for me real quick? You'd have your drawing slip. Then you'd glance over it and you'd go, oh my gosh, you told me that your grandmother is someone you think about that's not here anymore. Tell me about your grandmother. Okay. You say you love to wear blue. What shade of blue is that? How often do you wear it? So they're all prompts for you to expand on that. So, and this is I forgot one of the, so sorry. There's a question that's really important. It's called my bridge question. Okay. So you've asked them all the questions, and then there's the because statements. In between there's this question. And this would be the same thing at your beauty bars, whether it's live or even if you're at a booth or expo, anywhere. This is one that really softens things and makes things a lot more open and not feel like you're salesy. Is you say, may I show you a couple things that might be a good fit for you? When you ask permission before you say those because statements, do you see where I'm going with this? Okay. Or you're at a booth and expo and you're talking, may I show you a couple things you might like for the situation you're telling me about? May I show you told me about your grandmother, she likes this and this. May I show you a few things that would come together really sweet and honor your grandmother? Well, yeah. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So when you say may I, because most people are told when you see a crack in the door, someone says their grandmother died, somebody tells you they love purple, so tell them about our product. That's like what the basic training is. And no, you just ask politely, may I share with you a few ideas? And you should see how much more they stay in like this. Because when you start talking and you didn't have permission, Do you see them go like that? Do you see their eyes and their shoulders go back? And that's all it is. It's about 6 inches. And then you start talking faster because you know you're losing them. And it's this horrible feeling. But if you say, may I, and they say yes. And the cool thing is when you're messaging someone and you say, may I share with you a couple ideas? This is the greatest feeling ever. When you get back, please do, or absolutely with an exclamation mark, or sure with a smiley face, you know a deal is about to be closed, and you can tell them without feeling like you're self-vomiting. You know when you just keep talking and they don't respond and you don't know how long you should keep going, and you know you've probably said too much, and then your heart starts to pound and you say even more? Like, we've all done it, me included, okay? So that little permission question, and then you wait for their response so you can see how in they are, okay? That makes it a lot easier so you know that they're ready to hear about your product.
And it's a good rule. It's a good rule as a whole. When, you know, the number one thing I hear from our team will say, I have someone interested. She asked for information. I gave it to her and I never heard back from her. So it's a good rule to really take in and listen to that and say, offer a little bit of information and then say, you know, may I share some more? Or is there anything else that you need clarification on? Or would you be interested to hear more about the career plan or the designer benefits? If you ask these questions and keep them engaged while you are talking to them about sponsoring, they keep involved.
Yeah.
Or they say, you know what, right now, I think, you know, you're asking permission. So I think it's a good rule across the board to remember when you're talking to them, whether it be bookings, sales, or sponsoring.
Yep.
It's just a great thing to keep in mind. And what this all boils down to, and I'm taking notes, of course, is patience.
Yeah. It does take longer.
Patience. Yeah.
But I'm telling you, if you will do it all the way through, all the steps, everyone who learns this technique and does it all, like from start to beginning, but people will try to shortcut things, they seriously double their sales per person, sometimes triple, okay? But on average, when they do the math across the board, in 30 days, they double their sales per person, okay? And I can teach you how to message like 5 people at a time because it does take longer. It just does. It takes longer than just go, oh, this is what it is, and here are the logins, and here are the things, and let's check them out, and here's the website, and blah, 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 blah. Get back to me if you have any questions. And that takes a lot less time. But how many times do you have to do that before a deal closes? Right? How many people do you have to do that to before somebody gets back to you? A lot. Okay. Whereas if you're engaging, you're asking questions, they don't go away. People like to talk about themselves. Okay. It's really, really powerful. And so this is just, it's so much fun. I mean, I have a lot more on recruiting, on parties, on, we have a lot more stuff. We're at our hour, but I'm telling you, ladies, follow these steps. Okay. Follow these asking questions, get more information, ask permission, use the because you said, which one sounds like the best fit, may I give you a couple suggestions, then give an optional close. You will see much higher sales and a much higher closing rate per, 10 people you talk to. Okay.
I think it's important, even at this point with the information you've given us already, to take some of these suggestions in these questions just to build your engagement leading up to this. So you are brought up more where more people see your items on social media. Make a graphic, an individual graphic, and post it on Instagram asking the question. Post the same graphic on Facebook and put it on Pinterest or Twitter. If you use the same graphic that you've made yourself, your engagement's going to go up. And if it's across the board, people are going to start seeing, they're going to recognize it's you. And so I think that even getting your engagement up is bringing more people to your page to read what you're saying.
Right. Now, just so you know, if you start putting like O2s in your website and stuff like that on the images, it won't get as much response.
Yeah. I just put my name.
Yeah.
That's it.
90% of the time I tell you to do it without any graphic at all. But you can, okay, like with the dog ones, okay, this would be a really good one. You could put the 4 dogs. Which of these looks most like your dog? Okay, that one, because the other thing that's highly talked about is dogs or pets. Okay, that one you could do. Pampered Chef, they did one at Thanksgiving. It said, which of these 4 pies are you most likely to eat at Thanksgiving? Like massive. And there's so many different things they could sell them by just, and all they had to do is next ask, hey, so are you making your pies? Those that weren't, next. They just, or they're asking, are you serving, what are you cooking for Thanksgiving? There was a way to like flip it around and ask about something else, okay? So that's the thing. We're just looking for people who are sentimental and who wear jewelry, okay? Or give gifts that are sentimental. Any of those combinations, you're just looking for those people so you can listen to them, okay? It was kind of fun. So if I could just tell you real quick, because I've told you a little piece about what all I teach. I have all these same kind of tips with regards to recruiting, with regards to your parties, with regards to team building. There's ways to ask questions to connect better with your team members that's even more effective, and you seem like you're a better listener. So we have all these different tips. And there's there's technically 3 different ways to get it. So if you like hanging out with me and brainstorming, there is an option where you can get coaching, okay? And it's $97 a month. You have all access to all the videos with all those topics, including the booths and expos, and then messaging. Another one I'm really, really big on is really key messaging, so people actually respond, and then you can actually close deals. And we have some really phenomenal tips on that. So that one's $97 a month. But if you only want the videos, you don't want recruiting, and you're like, I'm only investing so much in this. This isn't like a full-time gig for me like it is Michelle. There's one for $19.97 a month, okay? And you get access to all the videos. You can watch them 24/7. You watch them till you're blue in the face, okay? And that is really fun just because there's so much information on there, and you're going to brainstorm and get some much more solid ideas, because you're going to walk away from this tonight, even if you take really good notes, and you're going to be like, no, wait a minute, she said this, but how did she connect these, or how did she do this next? Being able to watch the videos over and over again really helps, okay? The other way that is like dirt cheap, just for you to get a taste of it, for $1, you can try our module 1. I can't talk anymore, okay? And you learn, I have some really awesome stuff about goal setting. There's stuff about sales, and there's stuff about messaging, and stuff about finding people on Facebook, okay? It's all in module 1 for $1. And you get that for 14 days. And then you don't do anything if you want to stay with us and get all the videos. Then you go up to the $19.97 and you get charged for that. If you don't want to do that, you just email us and cancel. So you can get more of this for $1, okay? Like, I am very committed to changing the reputation that direct sales people have in general, because you care so much more than the person at Claire's or the person at K Jewelers or the person that's selling anywhere else. You guys have these huge hearts, and I want you succeeding. Rather, succeeding means you help more people heal by wearing something that's sentimental, or I need money and I want to stay home with my kids and I want to hit this title. Whichever thing makes you tick, it doesn't matter. We want to help you have that success, okay? So I'm just going to show you where my website is, just so you can, know where to go, but you can also message me, and you should get an email that shows you where to go, but just in case you don't get it. So my website is creativesuccesssystems.com, has a lot of S's. All right, so do you see creativesuccesssystems.com? See my tree? I gotta have that tree. Mm-hmm. And so here is the 14-day trial right on the homepage. Just click on this and you just put in your $1 and that's it, okay? And you have that for 14 days, and you either cancel or go on to the $20 program. If you're more interested in like coaching and hanging out with me, then you're gonna wanna go to the Creative Success series, Or if you know you want all the videos now, you're like, I want to watch everything. I want to watch the recruiting stuff. I want to watch the booth and expo stuff. I want to watch everything now. Then you can do the $1997 program, okay? The $97 program, because it's coaching, that is a 3-month minimum, because we know our goal with that one is that we highly increase your sales. We move you into recruiting. When you do more sales, you always recruit. You train them correctly, okay? And you help them set goals and help them learn how to sell. They promote and you get the higher promotions. So the coaching program is all about taking you to that next level, and that for everybody's different. Michelle's level and somebody else's level. I'm trying to see my other screen to move this. There you go. Okay. So everybody's a little bit different. So those are some options, because we want you to have this wording. We want you to feel authentic. We have seen so many people double their sales, find more people to recruit, build their business, help other people have the success they want. And we just want to keep moving this. And I love your product. So come play with me, because it's just so much fun. Okay. All right. So I'm going to turn it back to you. We have just a few minutes. If you have any questions about the program, the different options you have, or if you're like, okay, Michelle, what's that step after this one? If you have any other questions about just how to ask these questions and get your engagement and close deals. So anything else? And Michelle, I got to thank you. Thank you.
I have another thing. Will you also share with them where they can find you on Facebook? Because I know you have a few different things that you have going on in there as well.
Yes, ma'am. I absolutely will. Okay, so when you're looking for me, if you put in Michelle Hess Withers, it's Hess is my middle name. It's usually pretty easy to find me. And plus, you should find me in the group if you're hanging out there. But then I also have a really fun Facebook group where we're posting new questions all the time. Like right now, I tried to get blood today, and I clot so fast. There was like this little string. Anyway, I clotted so fast they couldn't get any blood out of me. It was the strangest thing ever. Anyway, so this is my group, and you just put in #CR8 Success. And that's the group. And we have so much fun in here, okay? We share with you when we have we have live and free webinars all the time. Do you guys use ScentShare or any posting services? Okay, yeah. So I do a lot of training with ScentShare, and there's free things you can sign up with there. Look, see, we have what color or theme is your kitchen? So that's a great one for Pampered Chef, 31 gifts. You guys can even ask it just because it's fun and people talk. Here's one that's been really fun today. People have been posting to get mother's engagement. How many times a week do you call or text your mom? And you can actually download 20. You can click on this and download 20 free questions for Mother's Day. And then I post videos on here. I did a live Facebook video thing last night. That's here. Anyway, I got a heap load of stuff in here. Okay. There's always something going on. Was there anything else I should show them? Do you guys know where the ScentShare group is? That one.
I think I showed that, but yeah, that's the one I wanted them to connect with for sure, because you guys share some great stuff in there.
Yeah, so Social Cinch Club, I just did a week-long training with them where I posted questions in a video every day for a week. And the one I'm doing with them next is all about parties, the virtual part. I mean, all the questions I'll teach you how to do, you could do in a live or in a virtual party. So this one is a great one to join. But if you want to sign up for that week-long training to get the reminders, if you go to my group, it's right here, Rev Up Your Parties. You click on it and you sign up for it, and you will get the email reminders. Okay? So remember to go watch that video. It will be coming out May 2nd.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
I appreciate you taking time for this. I think that it really spearheads the thought process of listening and asking the right questions, and not necessarily it always being about our product, just getting the engagement up. And I think that's what people lose sight of. So I think it's really important to just ask these random questions, whether it's about food, pets, whatever, to get your engagement up. Because I don't think, social media is a mystery to most people. And so they don't realize how important it is to get your engagement up so you're being seen on more of your friends' pages, timelines.
Yep.
So I appreciate you taking this time out. And I know that once this recording goes out and everything that, I think it really, it made me think, the questions asked, it made me, a little light bulb. Yes, this big bright light behind me. Light bulb, come on. or a halo. I don't think so.
Maybe a little both. X's and halo.
I only have one L in my name because my grandma didn't want hell in my name.
Oh!
Yeah. I think she knew I'd raised enough on my own, so that's why I'm a 1L.
That is so funny. Well, off camera, I have a funny story to tell you about my husband's girlfriend's 1L, Michelle, and I'm married him and have 2 L's, so it's pretty right?
Right. So I really think I'd love to hear what you ladies thought about this and what your minds are doing right now with some of these ideas.
Yeah, what's your aha moment? We love to hear your aha moments. What are you going to implement?
I personally think that it was really awesome. I feel like it's kind of going back to the basics, even kind of just like thinking of my kids in school. Like, they meet each other and they're just like, hi, I'm Brayden, what's your name? Like, we so just kind of skip over all of that nowadays, and it's just really basic and easy. And I think we kind of just make it harder on ourselves than it needs to be. So just going back to being real with each other and just getting to know people. So yes, it'd be great if I make the sale or I get the bookings from the party, like, that's what we're there for. But it shows that I'm there for much more than that. Like, I'm not there just for that. So then I'm taking the chance to get to know you, and maybe they don't buy today or next time, but I left an impression with them, that I took the time to care and get to know them. And maybe later on down the road they will. And if they don't, they don't. Maybe I still made a friend out of it or something else, or they referred me to other people because they knew that I took the time to care about them.
Love it. Love it. Awesome. 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 All right. What other aha moments did you have? Thank you, Crystal.
You're welcome.
You want to share with us your aha moment, Andrea?
Okay. I think one of my aha moments was asking permission to, may I show you a charm that would represent this? And what are your thoughts on hosting a jewelry bar yourself? Those were big for me, I think, because it opens it up for them, and it, that way.
I agree. It keeps it going 2 ways instead of 1 way.
Yep.
We're left in this silence, just talking. So it's good that it's a 2-way thing. It's you're getting permission to keep going.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome.
And it makes it easier for them to engage and not just say, yes, I don't feel like having a party today, or, well, if I have to. Yeah, I like the permission part of it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. All right. Anybody else?
I had a question on the questions to post on Facebook. Seeing some people post to their business page and some people post on their personal page.
All the above. You do all of them.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, because you're going to hit different people.
Yeah.
Most of the people on our business page are specific business people or our team, which is still a teaching process, because our team members who follow us on our business pages are learning the interaction, and it's raising our engagement on our business page. But if you're doing the same thing, if it's not directly about our business, we can do it it's not frowned upon on our private page, because we're just having conversation. Like for me,
yes.
I know that in your group today, you had posted how many times you post about your business or something like that. And I had responded, very rarely do I ever post buy, host, or join my team on my page. I don't post those kind of things on my private page, but I post hanging out with my pal at my vendor event this weekend, or heading to Cali for my team there, or I can't wait to get to convention in Florida this year. You know, I'm so ready for some warm weather. Or people know that my life is Origami Owl.
Right.
And so they cannot think about Michelle Bradley without thinking about Origami Owl. And that's kind of what you want. I don't have to shove my product, my opportunity down their throat, because sooner or later, I can tell you this for sure. We had an event here. Our home office came to Detroit, and we had an event here. And I did a team shirt just for that event. And I posted it on my face. Everyone was in these pink shirts with the Detroit skyline. I had people not on my team buying the rest of my shirts that I had left over.
Wow.
And I actually had 2 people join my team because I posted that picture of all of our team wearing those shirts, because people want to be a part of something.
Something good. Yeah.
You know, so it's just about showing people that your business can just be a natural part of your life.
Well, and this is the thing that happens, okay, ladies, and it just, oh my gosh, if you'll wrap your head around this and get really excited about it. When you're posting those things about your life or tips or the story about a necklace, why it was created and who's wearing it, all those things, okay, then when you post a question like, is the Mother's Day gift, is it sentimental or, whatever, or how often do you wear necklaces, or even a cool one would be on a scale of 1 to 10, how heartbroken would you be if you lost your wedding ring? Okay, just that sentimental part, okay? They know what you sell. They know this is what you do. And when you start messaging them, some of them, like, this is when they get to raise their hand and say, okay, I see what you've been doing. I see your product. You can talk to me now. And we found this out kind of a really fun way. If you guys have friends that sell unique makeup, those girls all wrote the Sharpie marker all over their face and then covered it up with their foundation. Y'all saw it, right? It was bad. It was tacky. It was crazy. But like 10 days later, we threw the question out there on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is foundation to you? They got 20, 30, whatever responses. Sold a ton of foundation because there were people that weren't about to comment on the crazy tacky video. They weren't going to say hook me up because they were afraid they were going to kind of jump on them like white on rice. But they would answer that question, and when we took it to these, well, tell me what foundation you wear now. What do you like about it? What would you like it to change? What do you apply it with? What kind of coverage would you like to get? And we added more questions. We blew up their sales, like exploded. It was crazy, okay? It's not that they don't know you sell it. It's just when you ask a more softer question like that than throwing your website and your logos and stuff all over the place, it's a little safer for them to raise their hand and go, okay, you can talk to me about it now, okay? So, and it works. It's really, really cool.
I guess I have a question, and it
Yeah.
may be already in your training that you said that you do, but do you have any suggestions, I guess, for the part of doing like events and whatnot as to how to approach people that come to your booth or table? Like, what should you say to start the conversation, I guess? That's
Yes.
not really cheesy or tacky.
Yes. So are you asking, is that training in the program if you buy it? Is that what your question was?
Do you already cover that basically in your training, or do you have any suggestions now that you could share that that would just start the conversation there before you say to start showing them pieces? Like, how do you start the conversation?
Yeah. Well, okay, just so you know, there are 4 videos included in the training. It wouldn't be in the $1 program, but it would be in the $20 one. Okay, just as an FYI. But there's 4 videos in there all about booths that just really change how you do it, and it's amazing the results. Okay, but if one of the things, the easiest way to invite people in and make it non-threatening or not just feel more authentic is you get a big sign. It can be a cute whiteboard. It can be a cute chalkboard. It can be something cute you put together. It's a bulletin board, whatever. And you ask a question that's a poll, meaning like they're voting. Like You know, if you say, okay, which one of these jewelry pieces are you most likely to put on leaving the house? A necklace, earrings, or bracelet? We're just polling all the women that are coming to this event. We just want to know your opinion on this. Who doesn't want to give their opinion? Okay. Because they're used to you going, come in and enter the drawing. Like, that's what everybody says, right? Okay, that's old now. We all know we don't want you calling us later, which actually most of you don't actually call. You don't do anything with the drawing slips because you don't have good information. I can tell you how to completely redo your drawing slip and have phenomenal success with it. It's a whole nother lesson in itself. But you ask a poll. Okay, it could be what you're, you know, are you more antique, bling, or what would be like a earthy, you know, like leathers and stuff, you know, like which style are you? It could be which of these people in your, you know, which of these, oh, this could be a cool one. Which of these events, just so you know, really cool question to ask on Facebook would be how many of you scrapbook, because they'd buy your necklaces. Okay, but you could ask the question something along the lines of which of these events, how do I want to say this? I'm trying to say like wedding, birth of a child, or family vacation. Like which of these would you most, which of these is your greatest memory, or which of these is most important that you preserve, or something like that.
Okay.
I'm not coming up with the perfect wording, but do you feel where I'm going with that?
Okay. Yep.
A wedding, a birth,
What would you think about something like this? Just real quick, and I know we're past an hour. But what would you think about having just a printout, almost like people put a banner at the front of their table or up on a pedestal of 3, like even if it's just a piece of leather, a plain piece of silver, not even our product or whatever, and something blingy. Which catches your eye most? Because it's going to draw them in. Which catches your eye most?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just bringing them in.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just writing out the words.
Oh,
I mean, you don't
yeah,
necessarily
true.
have to put,
Yeah,
you just put like
image.
just like a texture. So that's not your product. It's just the texture of leather. It's just the texture of silver. It's just the texture of rhinestones.
Yeah.
And put which catches your eye most.
Right. Yeah, you
know,
could. I mean,
it draws people in.
Yeah. And if you're doing this, I mean, if you're down there a couple of days, you could try a different one every day and see what happens.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
you just want to say, come give us your opinion. We're having this fun poll. So you've got to be able to be, you know, if you have to have a drink or whatever, a little caffeine, like you got to be able to have a little fun with it. Michelle.
Well, I had taught at convention.
Yeah.
I had taught at convention this year, and part of my speech, my opening was, no one wants to do business with this. But everybody wants to do business with this.
Yeah. And I know some of you were just terrified, you know, I get that.
Because this is, I have an RBF. Like when I'm just walking down, like I have a resting, I'm like this when I'm walking.
Yeah.
Like,
people, like if I get watching a show and finally relax, my kids go, what's wrong?
Right, what's wrong? And I think that that's something we have to be aware of when we're working with the public. I said, no one's going to approach my table when I'm like this.
Yeah, or
no one.
Your phone.
Let alone if they find out I'm from Detroit, like that and the face. So you have to think about these things.
Yeah.
You have to think about your tone. You have to think about your face. Fake it till you make it. If you're crabby, you don't let them see it. And so I think that with the welcoming question, hey, I just want your opinion on something. We're polling everybody.
Right.
Even if you're like ready to die inside, the outcome is better.
Mm-hmm.
It pays off.
Yep.
It's the sacrifice.
Yep. Okay, ladies, I do have another meeting I have to go to.
Let's go.
This is so much fun. But really, like, go do the dollar thing so you can keep watching this and get some new ideas, okay?
Yeah. Go to the group. Go to the group.
Yeah.
The
We have
Create
a lot-
Success group too.
Yep, it's fun. Okay.
We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks,
Bye.
Karen.